Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for Tyler Perry's Sistas. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Y'all, please don't hesitate to hit that like, comment, and subscribe button if you get anything out of the content. Now, child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. I know I did not do last week because, sometimes I need a break from Tyler, okay, in Tyler Perry land. But we're back. And it's because I didn't want to let you guys down, honey, because I was gonna drop this. So it may come and it may go, but we here tonight. Previously on Tyler Perry's Sistas. Zach is still in jail, honey. Free my boy Zach. Hashtag free Fatima. Okay. We still see that Fatima has that thing thangin'. And he's trying to tell her, you can't be giving that thing to everybody. You gave it to Hayden and now you're acting a fool. Gary mysteriously has an office right across from the penthouse that he bought for Andy. Robin is still working his magic, and Andy gave him a little something for helping get Fatima out, and we're back. When the episode first opens up, Zach is still tripping after hearing that he was going to get 10 to 15 years because he's on probation for a baby that ain't his. Like, where do they do that at? He's like, that's not my baby. So he's clearly being set up, okay? They're clearly setting him up. He's getting mad at Fatima because she ain't pissed enough. And she was like, well, what me being mad gonna do for you? And he was like, I'm just saying. Like, he's just pissed. And I understand that. He was like, oh, so this the same chick that went over there and beat up Hayden. Zach, calm down, honey. One of y'all has to be the voice of reason. Child, you're gonna be locked up for the rest of y'all relationship. So she's telling him her being mad ain't gonna make it no better. So he's like, look, I finally got myself together, and now it's like one thing after the other. And you know what? That's exactly how it be happening too. As soon as you get your life on track, here come the devil. Because I cannot tell y'all how much devilish stuff has been happening to me lately. I feel like just when my channel was starting to pick up momentum and give it the zhuzh it should be given, here come the trolls and other things that happen behind the scenes. So I just encourage people, even though this is about Tyler Perry's Sistas, please be kind, honey, because you don't know when somebody gonna snap. I'm just saying. Moving forward. So Fatima is telling him that they're going to figure it out. And he was like, that's what I don't want. I'm tired of depending on women to bail me out. You, Andy. Like, I'm just tired of it. And she said, and Karen? Fatima, Karen ain't here. Karen and her bell bottoms are somewhere trying to ignore Aaron, child. Please leave her out of it. He's just tired of having to depend on women. He's like, I got money now. I can take care of myself. And here I am still having to depend on my lady. So she tells him, look, that's what I do. That's what we do for each other. We take care of each other. So she's like, Andy is going to figure it out. He was like, and what if she doesn't? She was like, well, then we're going to be fugitives. He was like, that ain't even funny. She was like, I ain't playing. I told you I'm crazy. Okay, now, Fatima, I'm all for you being down for your man, honey, staying 10 toes down, honey. Please do. But we are not about to be on the run. I don't care if we on the run. Baby, long as I'm next to you. Child, not the Beyonce. Oh, child. Fatima said, if loving you is a crime, honey, tell me why I give my life for you. Woo, honey, it's getting good. Moving forward. My girls hold me down. Them boys mess around. And scene. When the episode opens back up, Andy calls Rockin' Robin for another favor, honey. She's like, hello. Hey, how you doing? Honey, because she got to break the news to him that she needs some help. So she tells him what the DA had to say about Zach's probation being extended because of this child support that he don't owe because this baby ain't his. Where did this baby come from? Hayden, let me find out, okay? Because everything bad that happens to Zach, it all stems back to Hayden's little peanut head. So I'm feeling like Hayden has something to do with it. That's really what I'm feeling like. But anyway, so the child support is, having him locked up. So Robin goes, well, I don't know how they can do that because did he get anything from his probation officer? And Andy was like, no. Robin, it's Tyler Perry land. Anything is possible. And I do mean anything. So Robin asked if Andy trusted Zach. And she's like, yeah. He's like, are you willing to stick your neck out for him? She said, yeah. He goes, oh, okay, I have one other question. Did you sleep with him? She's like, no, never. That's my best friend's ex. Okay, Robin's starting to get on my nerves, okay? He really starting to piss me off because the last episode, even though I watched it but I didn't review it, last episode, he was trying to become the moral police all of a sudden. When you were engaging in random threesomes up in the hotel room, you were the voice of morality, speaking for all the women around the world. Now, this episode, you're asking Andy if she slept with Zach. I would have hung up that phone so fast, honey, because first of all, I feel like that's disrespectful. Or maybe that's just me. I would have hung the phone up and I would have figured something out on my own. And I'm just like, Andy, girl, you sure know how to pick them, because I felt like that was disrespectful. So Robin goes, well, I mean, this is a lot to go through for just any old body. I'm offended, okay, and him thinking the only way that she would want to help out a man is if he got a taste. I don't like that. Tyler, I don't like it. So he was like, okay, so I'm going to call the DA's daughter and then I'm going to get back to you on this, okay? So then she asked if he'd ever slept with the DA's daughter. He was like, no. She was like, oh, okay, just checking. Child, both y'all getting on my nerves. Moving forward. Back at this halfway house Maurice running over here, Q has made breakfast. Where are the grits? Okay? I need a little bit more zhuzh on his plate. So he's telling him that he's going to look for a job today. And Maurice was like, all right. Okay, honey, because you know Maurice don't care nothing about it. He said he's going to apply at a restaurant to see if he can wash dishes, sweep the floors, do something. Yes, put that mind of yours to use, because you ain't doing nothing else but sticking up other places you ain't supposed to be. So finally, Calvin, bad drunk acting behind, rises up. Now, this is what I want to say about last episode, because like I said, I did not review it. Calvin has to be one of the worst acting drunk people that I have ever seen on television. That was such bad acting to me. All that stumbling ever so and falling all over and going up to the refrigerator to look inside of it to see if the TV was going to come on. Calvin, what are you doing? Honey, what is you doing? Child, we're going to have to get your acting chops sharpened, honey, because that right there wasn't giving what's supposed to be gave. But anyway, Calvin is acting drunk and whatnot, so he finally rises up, and Maurice is messing with him, telling him that he was in the bed with Q. And he looking like, what? So Calvin goes, don't go spreading no rumors. That's why, you know, me and Sabrina in this mess now. No, you and Sabrina are in this mess because y'all wear the same lace panties. That's why you and Sabrina in this mess, honey. Oh, my goodness. So Maurice was like, well, good thing I have it in my video phone. Child, not the video phone. So he pulls it out and he shows it to Calvin. So Calvin is trying to figure out why Q got on draws. And he was like, I was just trying to help you because you were throwing up. And, you know, people die from that. Here go Maurice. Calvin has great gag reflexes. Oh, child, I can't stand Maurice. Oh, honey, he is a mess. So Calvin tiptoes off, honey, because he cannot be bothered with Maurice any further. Maurice is being Maurice, telling Q to serve him, because you know he don't pay no bills, child, and ain't got nowhere else to go. At least he getting practice working in a restaurant. You might want to be a server. You getting all the practice at home that you need. In the next scene, Karen is at the hair mastery of it all, and Aaron shows up. Child, y'all know Aaron gonna show up if he don't do nothing else. Aaron, do you work? Like, what exactly do you do? Because you always got time to show up with a sweet treat or something. A flower, a little note. You just always roaming around, honey. I ain't seen you go to a job yet. Tyler, let's get Aaron to a job. So he's telling her that, you know, he accidentally took her keys last night. And she's like, I got my keys. He said, well, I got them out of the chair. So she was like, let me see them. So she looks at them and realizes that they're Zach's. Why are his keys still at your place? Girl, let me find out you up there burying keys and burying eyelashes and all kind of stuff just so you can keep this man coming around. So she was like, well, he must have left them when he moved out. Aaron said, how convenient. I know that's real. So Aaron is trying to make small talk, honey, but y'all know he just wants to ask if he can come by later. And she actually agreed. Child, heaven's gates are opening up because she agreed the first time that he asked. Moving forward. That was such an awkward conversation between the two of them, but at least she said yes, because normally she says no. So he leaves, right? And so Karen tells Pam to call Zach to come get his keys. She's like, and when was he at your house? She was like, he left them when he moved out. She's like, and he ain't asked for them all this time? Well, if he didn't ask for them, then he don't want them. Honey, I know that's right. Karen just wanted an excuse to see Zach. Oh, child, please let it go. She's like, just call him. Girl, go on, call him. He ain't gonna answer. He's predisposed at the moment. So Pam is like, oh, okay, so you want him to come here. Well, I'll call him after he gets out of jail. And so Karen was like, he's still in there. And Pam was like, you knew? Child, not Pam thinking she dropping some tea, honey. Wasn't dropping nothing. Tea cold as ice. Why is he locked up? And she said, well, that's because he was fighting at Andy's office. And she was like, oh, okay. Well, I just wanted to see what you knew. I didn't want to, just be the first one to break the news. Pam's so messy. So Karen is like, okay, well, can you find out when he gets out? His woman don't even know when he getting out. I'm sure Pam ain't going to be able to find out. Back over at the Brookhaven Bank, formerly known as the Empty Bank and Trust, Bio shows up with flowers for Sabrina. Flowers for the lady. So they go into her office to talk. And so she asks why he didn't tell her that he was a prince. He was like, how did you find out? So she tells him about the grocery store run-in that she had with the ladies. And so he explains, it's a small country and it's really a big deal over there, but not such a big deal in the A. And he hopes that she's not offended. Trust me, she ain't offended. And Danny definitely gonna make sure she ain't offended. Because Danny trying to make sure that you ain't got no cousins that might happen to be the next prince up, honey. I'm just saying. So he has a card in the flowers. And the card is asking her out to dinner. And she actually said yes. I was like, oh, okay, so I'm seeing a theme. Everybody on the show getting dates. Got it. So he was like, okay, so you accept. And I'm also going to send you a car service. She was like, no, I'm going to drive. Sabrina, you always waiting for a ride share when you go out with these heifers, but you won't let him send you a car service? Girl, if you don't let that man send you something so you don't have to be worried about drinking and driving. And not y'all mentioning y'all orange, honey, I peeped that. Back over with Maurice, he comes in getting on Sabrina's nerves. Sabrina! Y'all know how Maurice is. So he comes in asking about the Prince of Zamunda and what he sees in her. What you mean what he see in her? Sabrina is beautiful. Now, she don't dress worth a damn. And yes, I said worth, W-E-R-F. She don't dress worth a damn, but she is beautiful. And that skin is flawless. Okay, she has some beautiful skin. In the next scene, over at the airport, Danny is barely working, honey, and the trafficking cop stops by in his Sunday's best. So baby Danny was very impressed. She was like, oh, look at you. Okay, you look good. So he tells her that he's wrapping things up there and he's going to be gone in a few days. So he wants to take her out. And she said yes. So she going to see him at 7. I still want Preston. I don't like the trafficking cop. And he really wasn't giving a zhuzh for me in that suit. I don't like it. Okay? I don't like it. Preston has stopped wearing all that flannel. He's out of them boots. So I think you should give him another chance, Danny. And you know you still like him. I'm trying to keep him on the phone later on in the episode. And you ain't fooling me. Child, everybody got a date tonight. Moving forward. In the next scene over at Zach's house, the contractor is waiting outside for his money. So while he's waiting there, Jake from State Farm shows up. And he's like, what are you doing here? And he's like, I'm waiting for my money. Zach owes me $3,500. Child, I thought he was about to say some huge amount. And he gonna say $3,500. I mean, but it is your money and you did work for it. So Jake wrote the check and settled up and said he was gonna get the money back from Zach. Oh, okay. Jake might be a real one. I'm still a little iffy because anybody associated with Gary gives me cause for pause, but I kind of like Jake a little bit. I kind of like Jake from State Farm. So once he got the check, he bounces. No, thank you. No, nothing. I'm sorry. Goodbye. And so Jake calls Andy. Now, how you get Andy's number? I don't care if you did call the office. Why you calling over there? So he calls and tells her that he knows Gary and he needs to speak to Fatima because he's looking for Zach. Now, Andy is asking how Jake knows Zach. And he's like, well, Gary introduced me. And she's like, so how long have you known Gary? He was like, well, I work with him. She's like, okay, so how do they know each other? Andy, listen. Girl, the bottom line is don't get this woman's number out. So he tells her that they all play basketball together. So he's like, so can I get Fatima's number? She's like, no, I'm going to give her your number. It came up on the caller ID. And you know what? I was a little bit worried because the Andy of yesteryear would have been like 555-555-5555. But she didn't get a number out. I was like, whoo, if it's one thing I hate, it's for somebody to call and ask somebody else for my number and they oblige. Please do not give out my number. Honey, if I wanted him to have my number, I would have gave it to him. Moving forward. So they get off the phone and Preston shows up. Baby, everybody looking for Zach. Zach would be the central hub. Everybody know where they live. Ooh. So Jake knows that he's looking for Zach. So then he asked Preston, he said, do you know anybody that we could maybe call to see where Zach is? And Preston was like, I only know one person. And y'all know he don't want to call Danny, but he got to do it. So he calls Danny. She's like, oh, well, look who it is. Look who has risen from the dead. He's like, have you seen Zach? Child, he didn't even say hello or nothing. Because, you know, he trying to play hard. You could have at least said, hi, cowboy. That's just rude. So she's like, why do you need Zach? You want to ask him for some more unsolicited advice? You want to ask him about me? He's like, no, I'm with a friend and we're looking for him. So she's like, oh, okay, well, he's in jail because he was fighting over at Andy's office and whatnot. So everybody knows he's in jail except Jake from State Farm and Cowboy. So he was like, jail? Is anybody getting him out? She gonna say, I don't know. I'm sure Captain Fatima is on the case. Y'all, when I tell y'all that was so funny to me. Now, Cowboy know dang on well Fatima already done started digging a hole underneath that jail to get Zach out of there. So I don't even know why you asked if he's getting out. You know his woman gonna get him out. So he goes, oh, okay. So, all right then, bye. She's like, is that all you gotta say? You don't want to say anything else? Danny, you act like you don't like the man. So if you want to talk to him, then just talk, playing all these games, hoping that he says something that it can create a dialogue. No, if you like him and you miss him, say that. Let me tell you what my friends always say about me. And just a little bit of a disclaimer, when I do my reviews, I am going to insert real life scenarios in my reviews. And I've been getting a lot of comments lately where people are like, why are you always talking about what? Because this is my channel. Okay, and I'm going to give you my opinion. The IMO at the end of my name stands for in my opinion. Okay, I just had to get that out there. That's just a side note. But my friends always tell me that I'm the one to hurry up and press send on a text message. I don't mind just bearing my soul to whoever. I'm the person that's just going to put it out there. Like the worst they can say is I'm not interested. But let me know and let me go. I don't like guessing. I don't like hemming and hawing. I don't like trying to figure it out. If I like a person, if I miss a person, if I love a person, I'ma say that. And I think people need to adopt that. Then we won't all be confused and sitting up here looking crazy like Karen. Just say that. But anyway, back at the office, it's time for Andy and Robin to talk in circles. Honey, y'all know how they like to do. And he came in to say goodbye because he's going back to London. And he's like, yeah, also Zach's going to be getting out soon. He was like, but the assault charges, those are going to still stand. And she was like, oh, okay, well, that's understandable. And she's very appreciative of him trying to get Zach out, right? So he's on his way back to London town. And Andy is on her way to tell Fatima that her man is getting out the pen. Honey, he ain't in the pen, but y'all know I like to be dramatic. Y'all know I like to be dramatic. So she calls Fatima. And she was like, girl, where you at? She was like, I'm at home. And so she's like, well, Zach is getting out. How fast can you get to the jail? She was like, 2 seconds. She said, how can you get there in 2 seconds if you at home? She was like, girl, I'm sitting outside the jail. I didn't want you to think I was crazy. And baby, she called Fatima. She already sitting outside. Baby, that girl love her man. And then she gonna try to lie about it. Fatima is hopelessly devoted to Zachary. It's Fatima against the world. So Andy is on her way to the jail, and Robin comes back in to tell Andy that Hayden has access to a government database. He up there looking for Zach's stock connect. That's what he doing. I will be so glad when Hayden gets what he deserves. I have never been this invested in a fictional character in all of my life. Do you hear me? I am ready for him to get it. So Andy is trying to figure out why in the world would he be on a government database? So Robin goes, well, I don't know, but I will tell you that we are auditing him, and I hope it's something illegal because I don't like him. And child, join the club. In the next scene, Aaron shows up to Gary's office, and he's pacing back and forth, insecure and losing his damn mind. And he's telling him that he feels dumb because he bought her that apartment and she's having sex with another man in it. That's your problem. You thought you were going to be able to buy her love. It's over. You like to overstep your bounds. You went in there, cleared her apartment completely out, took all of her things to this penthouse in the sky, and now she's supposed to do everything that you want her to do because you paid for it. And see, Andy, I knew this was going to happen. That's why I don't think you should have ever taken that condo from Gary. But I mean, we here now, child. So anyway, Aaron is like, well, how do you know they having sex? And he's like, I just know. He said, how do you know that? So then he tells him, you know, it's because he's been spying and whatnot through the telescope, and he has not been looking at the stars. He's been looking over there at the back shots of it all. Gary is dangerous. He dangerous as hell. See, this is scary. See, this that scary mess I'm afraid of in real life, okay? She don't want you, so you need to let it go. So Aaron is trying to tell him that he needs to stay calm. Gary is losing it. He's like, man, I paid for that apartment. So Aaron said, look, The first thing we need to do is get rid of this telescope. But let me just say this to y'all. Listen to me, y'all. The way Gary stomped off like a little big-headed, snotty-nosed kid when Aaron told him he had to get rid of that telescope. When I tell y'all I was in here screaming, if you didn't pay attention, go back and watch that specific part. How he took his jacket and went to the other end of the office. Child, I was hollering. I don't know why on earth Andy still even speaks to Gary. I don't know. When he tried to crush her ribs and then got pissed and got in the car and started going 5,000 miles per hour as though he was going to be a crash test dummy at the end of it all, I was done. Honey, that was it for me. That was it. Back at the jail, Andy is there with Fatima because Zach is getting out. Baby, Fatima ain't been to work in a few days. Honey, she said, I can't eat, I can't sleep, I can't work, I can't leave. I can't do nothing till my man comes back. So Zach finally emerges, still looking good, ready to get all over his lady. And he's like, what's up, jailbird? She said, well, you know what they say. Birds of a feather flock together. I just got to say that I love their on-screen chemistry. It is so natural. You know what? If I didn't know he had a beautiful wife and a beautiful family, I would think that they were a real couple. Like, their chemistry is just so undeniable. It's almost kind of scary a little bit. All right now, honey, I'm watching y'all and y'all ain't fooling me. So Fatima is telling him that she feels bad. And he's like, why are you feeling bad? I mean, you did that for me. She was like, yeah, but then you wouldn't. He was like, and I did that for you. Ooh, listen, if I don't have a Zach and Fatima love, I don't want it. Okay, I don't want nothing to do with that. I wonder if they sell this on Amazon. I mean, I got Amazon Prime. They got everything else at Walmart. Maybe they got it at Walmart too, honey. I got to see it. Maybe they got it on Alibaba, honey, because I ain't seen no relationships like this, okay, in the real world. I'm just saying. So they pan over to Hayden. He's in there working overtime, being insufferable, and he pulls up footage of Zach in the airport. So then he figures out that the senator's wife told Zach the stock tip. Hayden has got to be written off. And that was the end of the episode. Hayden has got to go, Tyler. Okay, he's got to go. Because the way that he's written into this show, I mean, we do need an antagonist, but he out of control. Okay, and I guess it's got to be somebody for Zach and Fatima to tag team. So there's that. Y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what you thought about this episode of Tyler Perry's Sistas. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.